But like I said earlier, there are big changes that are happening for my company, at least. Hello everybody, welcome back to another 4-day trip with me. Welcome back to my channel, Traveling Gun. I am Thomas. So today I have one leg and I'm done. I'm going to Kansas City, and normally this would be a mainline flight, but since everything's changed, we're flying it. So it is, you know, it's just what it is, I guess. I made it on the plane here, and when I looked online, normally our mainline just retired two planes, MD-88 and MD-90. So a lot of those routes that they were doing, I'm assuming it's coming to us as far as the regional route goes. But when I looked online, there are 3 flights to Kansas City a day out of Atlanta. 2 of them are operated by regionals. 1 is operated by mainline. So I guess that's just the way things are changing now, because the demand of the flights are not there, and we're a little bit cheaper to run versus putting a bigger plane on it with less people, and you know, the fuel, all that. So I think that's good for us, because it still means we'll start probably getting routes that we probably would never work. Like the bid pack came out so far for this month, and we have a lot of layovers that we haven't had normally. Like I know we have a Houston layover, which we occasionally got those in the wintertime, but now we have like 20 layovers in Houston for next month as far as that are available for trips. There's some more cities in there that we've never had layovers before that we're starting to have layovers in. But the only time I've actually operated from Kansas City or to Kansas City was Kansas City to Boston and Kansas City to LaGuardia. I've done those turns. So it's just where we at in this state. I'm working on the CRJ 900 today, and I haven't been on the 700 in a while. I don't know if they parked the 700s, which we didn't have many of those. I think we had like 4 or 5. So I haven't been able to work on the 700 lately since everything has happened. So I think they just parked those, and we just doing 900s and 200s. So that's what I'm doing today. So I'll see you guys once I get to the hotel in Kansas City. Hello ladies and gentlemen, I have officially made it to my room here in Kansas City. Longer flight than usual than we normally would have, because it took almost 2 hours from Atlanta to Kansas City, and I'm working with someone. He's newer for our company, but he's retired from Continental, and he commutes from Medellin, and that's in Colombia, not some Medellin in the United States. Now I've heard stories about him, you know, there's somebody that commutes to Colombia from Colombia, but never actually flown with him. So now I'm flying with him, and you know, he's just telling me all his stories from his United days when he was a lot younger, and mistakes that he made. So it's kind of interesting to hear, and just basically having to commute from Medellin all the way to Atlanta, that's just crazy enough. But he hasn't been able to go back home since March 7th because the country is closed down in the pandemic. So he's been basically on his off days living in hotels. So he's been doing that. But speaking on my end with the schedule, so do y'all remember last month when I said this? As for max credit hours, that way they give me the most amount of credit hours, which I would have a mandatory of like 11 days off for the month. But the thing is, my schedule is going to change. They're going to put me on time available. They're going to take things away, but yet I still get paid for the max hours. Yeah, nothing is canceled. I've worked every leg of every trip the last 2 weeks. Nothing canceled at all. And with everything that's going on within the last 2 weeks, like, I really was mentally drained. Like, my soul felt beat down. And it was just, you know, it was just one of those things, like, I don't know. It's no words for it, but I'm better now. Even I'm back to 100% now, even though things are still at the way that they are now across the country. but I just want to travel. Next month, right now, we're bidding. Bids came out. We have a lot of new layovers. I have a Houston layover. We have a few Houston layovers in there. We have Rapid City. We have DC in there. And yeah, it looks like the climate of how airline is changing to where we're taking a lot of more mainline flights that what mainline would do out of Atlanta. We're taking we have a lot more routes for those. So I don't know how I'm gonna bid. I don't know if I should just, bid for max credit hours, just make as much money as possible and just save, or, with the hope of traveling next month, which I don't know if I will feel comfortable with doing that next month, maybe August probably. So I don't know, it's still up for debate for me right now. But I'll see you guys in the morning. Check my room out for just cleanliness, the bed itself, and these, for bed bugs. Please always do, if you're a flight attendant, please check for bed bugs, because I've never had any experience with it, but I've seen the pictures and how they laid in the bed and they ended up with bite marks. You don't want to do that. That you don't want to end up with that. So just check. So I'll see you guys later on in the morning. I have a early flight in the morning. I have to be at the airport at 5:30, and one and done, and then I go home. So I'll see you guys later. Good morning, everybody. It's 5 o'clock this morning, and I'm getting ready to go from Kansas City to Atlanta, and I'm done. Messed around last night and started watching the TV show that I had in my watch list on Netflix. Ended up staying till about 1 o'clock in the morning, but it is what it is. So I have like I said, I just have this one leg today, and then I'm done. I go home, come back tomorrow, and I have another 2-day. So I broke it down. What I'll do is I'll explain to you why I broke it down later on throughout this vlog, why I broke it down that way versus just keeping the original 4-day that I had. And yeah, other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Welcome back, everybody. This is day 3 of 4 of my 4-day trip here, and originally I was supposed to be on a 900. They canceled that flight, added this turn to Golden Triangle, which is like Columbus, Mississippi, Starkville, and some other city I can't remember, but this is on a 200. So the reason why I broke down my schedule the way that I did, because originally I was working the same 4-day that I'm working later on at the end of the month, and I was just like, why do that? And so this ended up being an open time for me to swap it. I didn't think they were going to do it because it wasn't 4 consecutive days like my original trip. It was 2 2-day trips back to back. But when they approved it, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go with it. Coming through the airport, it's a Friday. Today's Friday the 12th, and it's a lot of movement in the airport. I guess because it's the weekend, more places are opening up, but it was a lot of people in the airport going places. TSA was a little bit more crowded than normal. Even with the whole spaced out thing, it was still crowded, more crowded than normal than it was before. So that's a good thing. But there has been a lot of changes within the last 18 hours. We get emails and some changes have came, and I'll explain those to y'all when I get to my hotel room tonight. So I do a turn from Golden Triangle back to Atlanta, then I deadhead to Boston, and then I'm done for the night. So once I get back to my hotel room, I'll explain all the changes to you, and some good changes are coming, for some of us. But anyway, so what'll happen is I'll see you guys when I get to my hotel room later on tonight in Boston. So I made it to my hotel here in Boston. And when I came in here, this is my second time actually staying here. This is the hotel that I stayed in after my initial IOE was done. But like I said earlier, there are big changes that are happening for my company, at least. So first one is we're being equipped with thermometers, so we have to record our temperature at least twice a day. So that's becoming a required item for us. Service is changing up for us. We're going to be starting in July, I think. We're going to start doing limited service as far as going back to somewhat of a normal service for first class and business class. So it's still yet to remain to be seen how that is going to break out. Then we had an email yesterday saying that we're getting additional flying in August, and they have to bring back 200 flight attendants from voluntary leave. So that's a good thing. You know, as I was stating in my previous video about being furloughed, what we can expect. And also the company has taken off any early out programs that they were going to offer, but they said it's not off the table yet. See, the thing is, we just have to wait on what our mainline gives us, and then we go from there. So that's where we're at with it. Also, another thing is, our mainline did say that they were going to operate smaller, but our flying has grown more than the other two regionals that our mainline uses, so that's a good thing in a sense. So those are some of the changes that are happening, you know, with us. I'm trying to think if there's anything else besides the temperature check and our mainline said temperature checks, and that's it. That's pretty much it. So that's a good thing, more flying for us. They're bringing back people from voluntary leave of absence. So that's kind of, you know, like I said, I'm still optimistic on not being furloughed whatsoever. So that's a start with it. But it is going on 11 o'clock here. Finally made it to Boston, and I have one leg tomorrow from Boston to JFK. Done. Dead head back home to Atlanta from JFK. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and y'all have a good night. Good morning, you guys. Well, yeah, it is good morning. It's almost 12 o'clock. But how's everybody? I hope everybody's doing okay. I slept pretty well last night, even though I stayed up watching YouTube videos and Netflix. But today is just one leg for me that I work, go to JFK, done, sit for about 2 hours, then I did head back. The only thing I hate about it is that the flights are so infrequent. So I probably would have taken an earlier flight if everything was quote unquote normal, and I wouldn't have to sit there long and I wouldn't get home as late. So I think I'm on the last flight out of JFK back to Atlanta. But other than that, there's no new update. Everything's still the same from what I told you yesterday about. I'll see you guys a little bit later, probably once I get into JFK, to see how busy JFK is or not busy it is. But I'll talk to y'all later. Hello everybody. Well, I made it back to Atlanta. It's the end of a 4-day trip. I want to thank you all for coming along. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Hopefully everyone is out there being safe with everything that's going on. And until next time, I'll see you all on my next video. You have a great day.